Greetings and welcome to this LARP character showcase. And today on this broadcast, I present to you the Mercenary. 'Tis the very first time I do a character showcase here at the domain, and hopefully this will not be the last. The costume of this character, who answers by the name Butch Gentleblade, has a lot of elements. Just the right amount of garment, but a lot more weapons and accessories of all shapes and sizes, both for utilities and the aesthetic. In other words, every single element of this costume have their purpose, which includes, but is not limited to, making LARPing look good. And yet, as I collected all the elements of this costume, I had to ask myself if I had perhaps too much for a single character. Nah. Alright, let's suit up. First and foremost, I'm gonna have to trade my modern clothes for my LARPing garment. And just like my editing skills, they will be put to the test, because over the seasons I've gotten, how do they say, thick? Sounds about right. LARPing is pretty much my only sportive activity. We have an under tunic and pants, but these leather shoes might not be enough to be considered decorum, or at least not everywhere. Hopefully I have a pair of gaiters that I can wear on top of my leather shoes, so they look much better this way. Little side note, when you're LARPing in some places, there is one thing very important to consider, and that is layers. You don't want to freeze to death or cook under the sun, so mind the number of layers your costume has and plan accordingly with alternate outfits. But not today. You bet I'm going to rock this gambeson. And already I look like a medieval soldier, which is a good thing because the Mercenary has a military background. Indeed, Butch comes from a long lineage of soldiers, and he was no exception. After his military service, Butch served as a guard for several years, before enrolling in the army and partaking in a military campaign that will change his life forever. It was a particularly gruesome skirmish. All his men died, and he almost did too. But before that happened, he fled for his life and deserted the bloody battlefield. He only reappeared years later under a new guise and a new name, Butch Gentleblade, the Mercenary. But he had a different approach to his profession compared to the other bounty hunters, always seeing himself as a martially skilled entrepreneur and a straight-up mercenary, as Butch Gentleblade offered many services to his clients: manhunting, beast slaying, and even private investigating. Some even called him a money-driven vigilante who serves the innocent for a quick buck. A true businessman at heart. For the truth is, he never wanted to be a soldier. He wanted to be a merchant. But, as you would expect, life got in the way, and fate had other plans for him. Gears up, there's only one thing missing: weapons. And boy, does he have a lot of those. He personally prefers his own fists. But Butch Gentleblade acquired sharp skills, pun intended, with many blades of all shapes and sizes, from barely concealed throwing knives to the giant claymore on his back. And lo and behold, Butch Gentleblade the Mercenary has come to collect his bounty. This costume is by far the most impressive I've ever had in all my years of LARPing. A true shame I've never got the occasion to play Butch in any LARP, at least as of yet. But in all due time, until then, keep an eye out for future content. I hope you enjoyed this character showcase. I hope to see you again in the next broadcast. This was Sire knocking out. Thank you for watching. If you like this content and would like to see more, subscribe to this channel. Consider supporting me on Ko-fi to help me get closer to my holy grail and improve the quality of my content. See you on the next broadcast.